Hello, sports fans from around the world. It's the NRL SuperCoach BDE podcast. We are 2/3 of our current starting roster, Simo. The poor Todd Mound. He's down for the count on this absolutely bumper round 15 edition, mate. We love the bye period. Come on.
We do. It's a Cat 1 HIA for the Todd Marn. He's out for the bye round. So just us again, mate. So lucky listeners out there going to be a throwback again. Two out of 3 weeks.
For those that are wondering what Simo's getting at, the man legitimately copped a stray knee at his martial arts. So he's down for the count tonight. Just delivering the sexy and the tough at the same time, the big fella. So good luck to him. I'll sit comfortably in my house, Simo, to be fair.
Yeah. I hope for Toddy's sake it was a stray knee and not just TKO for the Todd Marn. Bit of sparring. Could be gone.
I hope you're all right. Hope he's a gone. I hope he's all right, the big fella. So it's a bludger of a week, man. I love bye rounds. This one is tough. Like, if you don't have some of the big boys this week, there's some obvious great starts. You can probably get away with starting a few short, mate, this week.
What big boys? What a
Xavier Wilson. Xavier Wilson, probably as good as it gets this week. It is tough. Us Keon Kolomatangi truthers have a weird vibe, hit a bit of form and was crap enough to now not to be picked for Origin. You just love that extra number, mate. Good times.
Yeah. That is a weird one, isn't it? When you got a guy that's he's not playing like an absolute busted, but yeah, he's definitely well out of the reckoning for a blue spot. And take your extra number. Obviously, Mark owners are annoyed, but like when you look at guys who are absolute studs this week. And like guys that should have been playing that now aren't. This is a tough buy round. This one, it is. People will get numbers, but they'll be shit numbers.
I would say, Simo, I've kind of earmarked this. I looked well ahead, and the gentleman I'm versing, I'm up against the Terrell Mayo, right? So straight off the bat, probably best player available this week if they're top few. And you look at it, and it's like, realistically, can I drop the bulk of not the bulk of my side, a chunk of my side for guys I'd rather keep to go for a win? Probably not. Pay close attention to leading up, any restings, that happens. But sometimes, mate, you just let them through to the keeper. And I'll probably use this week to trade, try and trade for, give you a great example, mate. I've got Zach Hosking on my roster. He's very valuable to someone who wants to win this week, but he's not valuable to me beyond this week. So you're trying to move guys like that if you're in that position, hey?
Yeah, that's a perfect example, I reckon. Hosking, you nailed it. Like, he's going to be good this week, and little to no, not no value rest of season, but not great value rest of season. It would be good for a few weeks until all the Raiders guys are back. But whenever that point arrives, plus they don't play the grand final, there's a lot of things going against Hosking. But he's a great selling point for this week because, as you said, he does have some value for people looking to get that win this week.
It's for the next few as well, because I did see some news. The man at NRL Physio, Sasangi not looking good, mate, to come back before round 18 bye, which is really sad. He maybe targeting around 19. So bit of a cruel one for someone that was trending as a, let's be real, mate, top 5 CTW. The way his floor was looking, who knows what highs he would have hit in terms of upside. So. Bit of a sad one, and he doesn't play 26. That's tough to get a trade through.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Like a few weeks back, we had that question on the potty. I know that there was that trade offer that Toddy brought up from one of the listeners, the Purdue for Sasangi it was, and at the time it was a bit of a blockbuster. But if there's ever a way that both teams can lose a trade, boy howdy, I did not see that on the bingo card.
Two sets of waiver fodder that no one saw coming. Oh, my God. Purdue.
Crazy.
Look, mate, you were right on the speed, but boy, where's the elusiveness anyway? It's painful to watch at the moment. He's lost something.
I could be wrong on that one. That wasn't a great call by me.
That's all right. You got the speed right, mate. I gave you kudos. Well, we're both right. How about that?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Mate, South Sydney versus the Broncos. So, look, I think really quickly for Origin selection, Reece Walsh to the bench was a no-brainer. He should have been there in the first one instead of Ezra. Pretty straightforward.
Anybody that's blown up about that, I mean, who's he keeping out? Like,
who's he keeping out? And
Shibasaki and Ezra, like.
So, can I just make sure that listen? I want to share this opinion. I know I've shared it with you and Todd, and I actually love the passion Walsh. I know I'm an unapologetic Walsh owner. I love high-end talent. I don't have tall poppy syndrome. I love great players doing crazy shit on the field. That's why Latrell and Reece Walsh and that, absolutely love it, right? The lack of positional awareness from his teammates on the weekend, he looked like he was skipping to the outside laterally just as well as in his good season. Decision-making not perfect, but the lines that Jack Gazzeski was not running, like, so he should be blown up. Disgraceful. Grant Anderson, I know, scored a try. He wasn't positioning himself properly either. Dean Mariner will be a big in for this side, mate, when he finally gets back, and I hope he does. They're all out of alignment. Jordan Ricky is being badly missed at the moment as well, albeit Piakura had his best game in a jersey. I'll give him that. He absolutely did. I just think Walsh is copping a real raw end of the stick here from teammates that it reminded me when he played for the Warriors that last season, Simo, and they didn't know where to stand to actually accommodate. It was brutal.
Yeah. It has to be put up, though. What about Madge trying to get Walsh back for this round as an 18th man in Origin? Try and see if he can come back and play. Like, that's bold from Madge.
It's bold. I respect the effort, but shut down, I'd imagine. So just wanted to share that, mate. I know that's probably not a popular opinion, but that's my take. Not as an owner this year, but the Bunnies, mate. So Jai Gray's been skating and not been, skating near a Cecil Wanga type line, but hey, fire him up in the bye week if you need him. Should have a chance of finally hitting a 60 or 70 here. He's on my absolute. I'd waiver him if he's there.
Yeah, I think he is, because this particular round, you're just going to be looking for guys that have like 80 plus upside. Doesn't even have to be 100 plus upside. Jai Gray happens to have the 100 scores in him, because like the matchups are not going to be super tough because there's a lot of teams that are missing players. So look, 80 plus upside is good enough, and Jai Gray ticks both those boxes. So you could waiver him this week and run him out there.
Yep, I'd say Ewan Aiken's the other one for me, mate, with Tallis Duncan. Brutal again for the Duncan owners. He's still a chance of getting your 60-odd, and maybe he scores a couple of tries, but Ewan Aiken's really the start in the tour. He's a great start this week. Easy one for me.
He is.
Brandon Smith, too hard to trust. He actually looked all right in that first stint, but he's just not getting that second stint to bump up over 50. It's impossible to trust. So he's a back end of his team.
Yeah, what did you make of Cheese, how he got penalised for that? They called it the cannonball. He dove at someone's legs when he was coming, like, I think there was no one else on him. He just dove at the calves and got whoever it was down. And
it was Paseka. It was he was still moving, and it wasn't a dive. He literally wrapped him around the ankles. It's one of the stupidest penalties I've ever seen.
Like that was a reputation one. That was 100%. Like, oh, geez, that looked kind of illegal, but wasn't. So we'll penalise it.
Can you imagine the match review panel when that one came up? They're like, God, what are we wasting? What am I even doing in this job? Like, it was ridiculous. Good shout, mate. That's really it for me for this side, mate. I wouldn't be messing with Hubner. Love the name, the Porn Hubner. Latrell, if you want, I'd have Jai Gray over Seagwalt for the fullback. Latrell, he'll goal kick and be a pretty okay halfback option if you want to fire him up. So no dramas. Just be aware that it's likely Latrell likely back in 17, if not 18. So I think I wouldn't count on Latrell to be playing around 18 because I don't know, man. Like, I know Latrell should be automatically in any New South Wales rep side, but it would be a big ask for him to come in there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the bit tricky, South, because like obviously they played this week. Yeah, they got the bye after that.
Yeah.
In 16. So yeah, you're probably right. Latrell Mitchell back in 17 probably wants to try and get a game under his belt. So
maybe. Shout out to the listeners who've joined us. I know it's our diehard Simo that will log in this week in this very small buy round. So thank you for joining us, folks. Well, it'll be a bit shorter and sharper not just because the sexy mound's missing, but smaller content to work through. So over to the Bronx, mate. I'm actually very pleased the Bronx have given Hayes Perham the fullback rather than Jesse Arthurs. It, at least in my opinion, gives him a chance for some good ball return and maybe a bit of momentum. I'm probably clutching at straws, though. Let's be real. You don't want to start with the Bronx. Yeah.
Yeah, look, if you like a homeless man's Connor Tracy, that's Hayes Perham in 2026. No passing, just bulk runs.
Yeah.
And
runs
if that gets you up and about, then you're probably not playing SuperCoach. You're probably more of an NRL fantasy guy. But, that's Hayes Perham to a T.
That's well said, mate. I enjoyed that. G'day, Will, our man. He's in. The round is important for us who are struggling. I love your effort, mate, in his first ever season of SuperCoach. He's sticking with it through thick and thin. Gotta love it. We'll get you there, mate. And lock it in, our man. He's in. He's here, lads. He's just driving. Be safe, mate. Observe those road rules. The mighty Cal. G'day, Cal.
G'day, Cal.
G'day, guys. Do you reckon Karapani meets the criteria for 80 upside in this decimated Bronx team? This is a really good raise, mate. You read my mind, Cal. Holy shit, he's hard to trust this week, Simo.
No. Gone. I'd almost look elsewhere. I don't love it for Josiah this week, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it either, mate. It'll be hard because owners have been patient or picked him up. We'll have had the 2 good weeks with Walsh, like 70-odd for Karapani. Absolutely, fine and dandy. It's going to look good. I don't blame you, listeners, if he's part of your buy plans in a lower week. He could still sneak a line break try, but I'm with you, Simo. That's a hard one to trust. Meso's just jumped in. Thoughts on Tom Duffy? Sorry, Meso. Good evening to you, sir. And as always, it is awesome to see you online. Thoughts on Tom Duffy this week? Is he splitting time? Is the Madge versus Ezra beef serious enough that Duffy can sustain me until Hines returns? Puru doesn't fill me with confidence. Look, I'd probably do it piecemeal, to be honest here, Meso. If you could grab Latrell Seawalt this week and start him in halfback, I would much rather that, Simo, personally, with the goal kicking. Tom Duffy, mate, that is a very tough trust. Next week, obviously, you wouldn't have been able to start either of them anyway because Duffy will be on the bye, as will Latrell. So then you can think to pivot back to Peru if you need to, mate. So, Simo, sounds about right?
Yeah, that's it. It's a pretty uninspiring bunch. I think Latrell's got the most upside to this week. So, honestly, I'd just go with that and deal with next week as it comes. Like, they're both going to be useless after that. Like, I know as a Hines owner, it could be okay to have Pahuru, but you know Hines isn't coming back this week. So just start the guy you think's got the most upside. And for me, that's Latrell.
I think so. We'll keep our eye out, Meso, for some other options as we cycle through, mate. It's a 14. Yeah, of course, you're in a pretty hardcore league. Look,
I'll
Duffy
go
at least.
Then.
I probably would. I'll have a good look at the matchup. I'll come back. I understand why you're saying Peru, but I'll definitely come back. One good ball, at least, from Duffy on the weekend, Simo. Wasn't the worst. Left to righter, pretty decent.
Yeah,
that's
true.
That's quite nice.
But he touched on it at the start. I mean, if you start Duffy and he gets 30 minutes because the Bronx start terribly and they're down 18-0,
very
he
tough.
could have a sub 10 score in him if things don't go well. You have to factor that in too. Whereas Pahuru, you just know he's going to play the full game, and for me, that's worth something.
Yep, I hear you, mate. It's just with him. Peru, yep, I got you. Now, big in, mate, and a surprising one given the injury to the foot. Jordan Ricky is actually back. I can't believe I'm going to say this, mate, but that's very important to this Broncos makeup in 2026. Mate, he's averaging 70-odd this year. There is a red-hot chance that in prep for this bye, people assumed he wouldn't be back till well after week 15. If he's dropped, mate, you're wavering up, right? You're going pretty hard here.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been very good with the new scoring system, Ricky. So, the fact that he's got rest of season value in the 2RF that's been really hard to fill, don't mind that.
Yep. Round 18 coverage as well. Obviously, you have to cover him next week, but that's a real surprise to me, mate. So, if you're in a league that's got him and you're up there at number one claim, I think that's going to be hard to beat personally. So, we'll see how we go. The rest of it, mate, I'm just really not that keen to start anything. Like Jas Kazeski, thank God he's in the middle away from the back row. My goodness. Whoa. I know I've said a bit already, Simo, but honestly, that should
Terrible.
not. He should not be an edge back rower, and that is awful. Like, oof.
Nah. Play.
We've had a bit of robot for the sim. He's not on the good computer tonight, so I'll keep on moving. Dolphins versus the Sydney Roosters. Pretty simple one. Trey Fuller, we've said it and recommended him before. I think you're back, Simo. Trey Fuller, mate, can he finally give us some upside? Because he was actually kind of garbage in his last start. We might have lost you. Might be gone. You there, mate?
I'm here, but this is going really poorly.
Might be cooked. All right. I'm just going to rip through listeners.
I might be back, boys. I'll be a few minutes.
Yeah. I will rip on through listeners, working with the tech and the HIAs tonight. I'm okay, though, folks. Going all right. The Finns, Trey Fuller, listeners, you can waiver if he's out there, but a lot of leagues will have him already prepared and squared away. So go get him if you need to. Nafahu, he's going to be the waiver darling in all the big buy rounds. So, again, I think our savvy listeners would have already prepared to have him this week. If he's out there, you can do the 1 week special. He's got as much upside as any CTW. Meso, I'm with you, mate. I think Trey Fuller is due. I think you'd agree, mate, wasn't his best performance, but we're massive fans. Massive fans of the kid. I hope he has an absolute blinder, and I think the matchup's not too bad this week with only Cody Ramsey at the back. Probably not the absolute best defensive stalwart. There's Razzle. Hello, mate. Hey, how are you? Good to have you. G'day, lads. Feels good to be in the stream instead of the spotty potty. No dramas, mate. It's good to have you on board. Simo's just running through his tech issues after a good run last week. The remainder here of the side for the Finns in terms of relevance. Geez, we want JMK. Please start. Please play big minutes with Plath out. I still am with Toddy's a huge fan of his, as am I. I absolutely think that he is going to have rest of season value. He has better service than Max Plath by quite a margin, in my opinion. Max Plath is really good at some of the tough stuff. So really hoping that's the way it shakes out. And again, another chance if people have given up on him. Oren Keeley, you can go there. He'll be decent enough this week as a 1 week plug and play in a buy round as well. Kurt Donahue, massive points off the bench with a try last week. I'm not, guys, you probably know this of our advice, but I tend not to be a huge advisor of starting people that have, got a bench spot, even in buy rounds. Just too risky unless you've got it, say, like when Zach Hosking has the guaranteed minutes as a rotational middle, I can live with that. Kurt Donahue, it's just unsure of where he rotates through. Could make me look silly with that, but I think there are better options this week. Meso, as I look to go into the Roosters side, Meso's added, this Roosters side is underdone, especially across the backs. 7 Roosters playing Origin. Probably fair too, Meso. Like they've been in good attacking form, so really excited to see Sammy Walker's encore myself. Which means Cody Ramsey is, in fact, the fullback deputising for the out-of-form James Tedesco. Some may say an improvement based on Teddy's been going SuperCoach-wise. You can fire him up in your CT dub this week if you need to. I'm not a massive fan, to be honest, but I can't say for certain he won't break through with a bit of upside, so he's decent enough. Billy Smith, I would start on a wing, and I'd start Tommy Talau as well. I think they're both a chance of just hitting some upside here in this pretty open matchup. And I think Cherry will do enough as a 7 with Savala there that they'll still score points. It'll just be a case defensively. I think the Roosters are going to have a mighty struggle this week. Connor Watson, fire him up in your hooker space because he'll actually get the minutes this week. Ielu will spell him, but he'll also probably rotate through 13 with young gun Feketi. Listeners, how bloody good is Feketi going to be over the next couple of years? I think he's a stud in waiting. So excited to talk about him in our preseason next year. For me, that Nat Butcher, he's probably one of those locked-in minute bench players that I mentioned before. I could live with you putting him in to try and get a win in a buy round. And Savala would already be owned, folks. Or let's be honest, serious leagues out there have Savala well and truly owned and used. So he's been brilliant. No thanks, Egan Butcher in the centres. I don't know enough about Reece Foley to recommend him. Don't have Sumo here to talk about the juniors, as he often does. And I like me a bit of Tommy Talau. I think I said that. I just want a public service announcement to the listeners. Mark Nwangani-Tawaze, I feel so sorry for owners with all that long injury wait, and then Critter going down means he comes in. I feel so sorry for you owners. So heart goes out to you. That's one of those shitty moments. You hang on to him as a top 4 CTW rest of the season. He is a freak, and he's playing in arguably the best attacking team in the comp. So hang on to the man for sure. Warriors versus the Cronulla Sharks at Go Media Stadium. Shout out to our resident Kiwi fan, the Chod Mian. Look, it's a good time to be a Warriors fan. Your third best front rower has been picked for Origin, which means Jackson Ford is still there. It means you can still handle the out of James Fisher-Harris with an injury, which sucks for owners because he absolutely is probably going too good to drop, but he also would have been a great number this week. Look, fire up. This week, I'd be firing up DWZ if he's out there and Khan Pereira. I think it's a decent time. Can't really get around Pompey even with the goal kicking, and I'm not really a big Ali Leotower fan, but I also think there's upside amongst this back. This back line should go okay here. I don't think Sharks defense is great, so I don't want to turn listeners off that. So if you run out of options, you're in a 14-team league. Ali Leotower, sure, if you have to get there. Preference for the 2 wingers. What else have we got? Tanner Stowers-Smith starting in the 8. That's an interesting one. He's got talent. There could be enough work rate with Fisher-Harris out there. Could be an okay start. Our man, lock it in, obsessed with Fiketti. Man, next year, you're seeing it, right? When he gets the minutes, he is going to be outstanding. Pi, Piffy, welcome aboard. Good sir. How is Simon still operating with dial-up internet? I think it's a hardware issue, mate, and he managed to secure an alternate computer for the previous week, which is why he was flying, and we're back to the rough days. So you're stuck with me just piling through these teams, and I'll rely on some of the chat with you legends. Lock it in. Saw him, as is Fiketti, and just Frost. I'm on delay, lol. Sorry, you probably see this too late. That's all right, mate. I absolutely appreciate you messaging in. Meso's just realised that Egan Butcher was playing centre. Oh, dear. We commented, didn't we, Meso, about how unbelievably brutal that situation was. So, yeah, points to be had. Simo is attempting to rejoin here, listeners. We'll see how he goes.
Look out.
Look
out.
out.
What the rock. Look at. Hey.
Not sure if you started too flash there, but we're going to give this a red hot go, mate. All right?
Right, let's do it.
We're ripping through the mighty Wars. I just wanted to, I'll get very quickly, mate. I got up to Tanner Stowers-Smith. Excited to see how he goes. I'd probably throw a dart if you're at the back end of your 13 players. I actually think his work rate's enough to probably be relevant this week. Jacob Laban, mate, is the one I wanted to mention. He's a waiver claim this week, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, big time. The fact that he's locked in 80 minutes with no Lecker, no Capewell. He's played really good the last 2 weeks as well, so you know that when he gets minutes, he's good. So, jump on board that.
Absolutely, mate, because Lecker, to be honest, mate, I haven't seen exactly the severity, but given Laban has been playing well, I'd love to see him brain it this week and just have a red-hot chance at a little run beside Capewell. So I'm with you, mate. Him versus Ricky are 2 really good options. I think if you're in one of the top 2 waivers this week, they're going to be pretty hard to top for mine.
Yeah, definitely. Ricky's probably got the nudge from mine just because he's just that bit more secure in his role. But, they're both really good 2RF plays this week and should score you pretty well.
Absolutely. Over to the mighty Sharks, mate. We had a Will Kennedy sighting. Absolutely. Hit a 90. Looked bloody good, to be fair. He's going to be a bye-week special. He let us down in week 12, but there's a chance he let us down a couple of weeks leading into this bye round, I meant to say. But this is his chance to shine, mate. The next 2 big bye rounds, get him in there. I actually started Sam Stonestreet because Ramian didn't end up playing last week. Simo, you can probably fire these two up in a bye week, right? It's not that great a matchup.
No, I'd be looking elsewhere, to be perfectly honest. So
Yeah.
I think the thing with the buy round is like, yes, you want to look for upside, but the counter argument to that is you still want to get guys that you know are going to score you a solid score. Because like if you start a Stone Street and he pumps you out like a 21 or a 22, which he's prone to do.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously it's never going to be good for you, but like when you could have just punched out like a consistent 45 to 50 from someone else, obviously, yeah, you much prefer that. And the matchup really doesn't scream start me. So, yeah, I'd probably look to go elsewhere and just play it a bit more safer.
It was a leap of faith for me last week, mate. I was very keen to start Ramian against the Dragons, but Stone Street last minute 57 was a big exhale when he got there. So I hear. Good to see Kale Iro back in time for the buy round. So there's one that has gone in owners' favour. Good to see. Billy Burns, mate, I think it's worth mentioning. He's weirdly hit some attack at patches this year. He qualifies as a guy you'd confidently start this week, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like his form's been good. So, yeah, I think sort of not to the same echelon of guys as sort of the Laban and Ricky, but he's got upside to potentially reach that. So I don't hate it.
Now, our man Dean Anthony's joined us tonight. Go Sharks, up, he says. Don't actually hate that song. Up, Cronulla. It's like old man voice. Big fan.
Not when Dino's singing it.
Oh, no, I didn't know. Definitely not. Definitely not Dino. Beware of that. Stone Street can be a bumpy road at times. I've got the perfect thing for that. Excellent. Oh, mate. Good stuff. All right, back to it. Jaden Beryl, will he start? Or our very learned listeners pointed out last week, it was Meso and one other, that Hohepapu, in fact, has been known he can move into the hooker role, bit of versatility. They were right with the late switch. Mate, I couldn't start Jaden Beryl here. That is just asking for trouble.
Nah. No, as soon as that switch was confirmed, and yeah, shout out to those guys who were all over that. Hepapuru, to be honest, I thought he was more of a prop, but it turns out he's more of a lock sort of skill set. So, yeah, can go through hooker. Did show that on the weekend. So, yeah, can't be going there. I don't think it's just a bit too risky.
Yeah, that's one, Timo. If you're rounding out your roster, here's an easy one. Guaranteed minutes for the forwards. So I'll give you an example. If Jesse Colquhoun's out there, which he might not be given his average a decent amount, you start him over a Beryl. But then if you go Beryl versus Stone Street, even Stone Street's floor but upside means I'd start a Stone Street over a Beryl.
Yeah.
That's like the line.
That's right. Beryl's got to play upwards of 60 minutes to be relevant, and it doesn't look like he's going to get that. So, I'm not keen at all.
Get on Colquhoun. He will plod his way through. It's probably a bit rough on him, but he does a job. All right, Parramatta Eels versus the Canberra Raiders. Just a special mention to Parrot and Dogs fans. My heart goes out to you for the absolute dross that was served up for 90% of that game. That's the worst game for quite some time, Simo, and the worst this year. That was an abomination of rugby league.
I'm sure fans of both those clubs probably, the way they're gone this year, weren't super surprised by it. But, to be nil half time and the way it was played, rough.
Very rough stuff. So, tough to get a read on this one, Simo, given you've got Parrot versus Canberra. So, Parrot, terrible, kind of fought back last week. Raiders, mate, I'm just not wowed by what they're doing. And I just wanted to mention that I'm not impressed by Ethan Sanders. I've been pretty vocal on the potty about this. I'm just going to add it. I said Todd's come around. He's holding this team back pretty badly, in my opinion. He's just not managing the games properly, and he's not letting Ethan do his thing and bringing him on and Huddy. So what a lost season. If Fogarty was there, mate, we'd be having a very different story.
Yeah, look, I think a lot of this, you're right. I think a lot of it's Ricky Stewart, though, too. Like, this is a coaching thing. They've thrown Ethan Sanders in to do exactly what Fogarty did, and it's just not working. Like, as soon as it doesn't work, their fallback should be, okay, let's play off offloads, give Hudson Young early ball, give Ethan Strange early ball, and just let the guns be guns, because they don't need, especially those two guys, they really don't need much. And Weeks is the same. You give them a sniff and they'll be all over it. But at the moment, the style of footy they're playing, it's just sort of, they're going back to the old 5 up for a kick. And like the only sort of threat is like Tarpany just offloading off a hit up.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to just do stuff randomly off that. And it's just, they need a bit more sort of, I guess, surprise in their game. It's quite sort of straight up and down. And Sanders is just, it's not really looking great at the moment. And then, it's a long season, but he's only young, but SuperCoach wise, probably not going to be this year.
No, I'm not writing him off for his career or anything. It's just, nor am I qualified to, but it's just, it's a shame, mate, because it's really hurting some of the consistent upside of this Raiders side. And even, Ethan last week didn't get any of a chance. So, you're going to be starting your KO Weeks if you've sat on him. Great week to play him. You're going to start Timoko. Xavier Savage, mate, it's against Para. You probably have to, right? He's probably worth it, even though the floor still exists.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is Parramatta. There's just going to be games where they get absolutely blown out of the water with this team that they keep putting out. Like, I know they're getting a couple of troops back now. Like, obviously, with Katonga back, it helps them a little bit. But, I mean, eventually they're just going to have those games where you just want to start everyone against them. So, I'll be all about anyone that's got upside against them, you just chuck them in there. And Savage is lethal when he wants to be.
Yeah, I think they're the ones, mate, for me. Jed Stewart, he's shown a bit upside. I just don't know if there's almost no flaw there. I guess he maybe isn't too different to Xavier. Seb Chris, if you want a safe sort of flourish, I think you'll probably base just enough to be okay. I just don't know if I'd almost rather take a punt on Xavier, to be honest with you, if I had the choice.
Oh, yeah, you're 100% right. It's Savage all the way. Jed Stewart's a non-factor in SuperCoach. Like, he needs tries to be even remotely relevant. So, it's rough for the Tamale owners to pop the HIA the week before, and then it would have been a good matchup for him. But
it would have. And the manner of the injury, I did think I saw a couple of content creators saying this. I'm a pretty big Andrew Ross fan, but his insinuation that was foul play of some kind from Nwangi Tawaze. Can we not start that narrative, please, so that the refs boss like Annesley looks at that? Players are going to slide in positions to try and avoid getting hit. Incidents will happen. We cannot start policing stuff like that. Like Marky Wuck, you can literally see he looked around. He's like, oh, shit, like clearly unintentional. It was to avoid a collision. What an unlucky fall for Tamale, man. That was horrible.
Yeah. I mean, guys are going to land and hit their head, aren't they? So,
yeah.
Oh, Will, that's rough.
I will, Simo lost by 9 with Tamale scoring 6. Oh, that's real rough. Meso, just back to in terms of picking your roster composition. I'm seeing this format a couple of times, listeners. So depends a little on your top, however many in your league. We only do top 7, so it favors the boom bust players in the backs more than the forwards. Hell yeah, it does. You could also go the full grindy 7 if you've got, like, say you had 3 back rowers, 2 front rowers, Simo, plus a couple more of like maybe a center or a fullback. You could probably floor your way to death as well, I think, in that model. We go die hard, mate. We're the full 13 in these bye weeks, and it's a tough slog. So maybe something for us to consider.
Oh, that's right. And that's why it's so hard for us to cater to all these different leagues, because we're sitting here and we don't. I know we try to not talk about our league ad nauseum, because it is very boring to hear people talk about the leagues. But as you said, we just do top 13, which is kind of the cutthroat version. But we lose track of the fact that there are leagues out there just like Meso that do the top 7, or they've got various versions of that where they pick whatever weird or arbitrary number of players they're going to do this week. And it makes it really difficult for us to give advice that covers every single league, because for Meso's particular league, then you would 100% view things differently. Whereas us, you could be having sort of 10 players up against a guy who's only got 6. So things could be vastly different, and the advice would change a lot based on that too.
Yeah, and Meso, I like this comment. We do the full 13. Meso believes that the best X model is the correct approach. We used to play full 13. I prefer this balance. Yeah, we've sort of changed. Our league's developed over a long time, Meso. I think you've been here since pretty much the start. We have never really mucked with the buy rounds because we do try to prioritize people preparing, etc. But I will say, Simo, something I would consider. Would I go down to the full 7, like throw that to the group? Maybe not that low, but maybe like 9 or 10. The reason I want to throw that in there, I do think by having the full 13, it really brings the luck factor in. Tamale is a great example, mate. You traded for him a couple of weeks ago with full intention of using him in the buy through absolutely no fault of your own. Bang, gone. And you're not dropping Tamale because he's too good to drop. I think if, for leagues out there, maybe 10, 9 is a good sort of balance between the two worlds. Keen to discuss next year, mate. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I think the lowest I'd be okay going to in ours would be 10. But
10, yeah.
Yeah, I think 10. I still like a lot of numbers because I think, like this is just me, but people that plan ahead can get those numbers and make astute pickups and maybe sneaky trades or whatever. I think that still needs to be rewarded. And this is coming from someone like I'm pretty butthurt at the moment because I'm the Hines owner as well as Tamale. So I've got a few reasons to be blown up about the fact that we're starting 13, but I still enjoy it. I still think it is. I still think it is good, even though, bad luck's going to happen. You can never take that out of fantasy.
There's even funny ones, mate. Like I drafted both Sammy Walker and Tedesco with a fair degree of confidence that round 15 was going to be my week. And it's just funny how the tables turn. Daniel Tupou as well. I thought round 15 was my week, and it's the way it goes. So, but to I guess to minimize the impact of bad luck, Simo, probably file that away as we're saying it. The 10 is something I would probably like to look at. But anyway, let's stay focused on the content. Evening, Nat. Good to have you aboard. Nat Newcomb. Should I trade out Plath with him not starting this week to a peaky as well? Mate, it is a little hard to give you that advice without knowing, how many people in your league, how many bench spots, etc., and really where you're coming in your league. Would I potentially look to trade those two with other Tuapiki will start this week, so that's a huge one. Plath, though, on Origin, mate, and given he's going to miss 18 as well, absolutely, mate. I don't think he's like a earth-shattering start, personally, Simo. If you could move him to someone who doesn't maybe need the win this week, yeah, I'm absolutely open to it, personally.
Yeah, Plath's been really interesting because there's been periods of the season where you think he's going to take the 13 role and just run with it. But then last week, when they decided to leave Knowles there and put JMK back to the bench and start Plath, well, this is how it was named anyway. Plath was going to start at 9. JMK was in 14, and they did a late switch. But if they're going to play him through hooker some, it's just you really want him playing bulk minutes at 13 is what the dream is for Plathy. I'd hate to just drop him, but if you can trade him for someone you think is a fair enough value, I don't hate it. I mean, if he's your starting hooker, there's not that many great hookers this week. I mean,
Pascoe, mate.
Pascoe's probably the only one.
Plath plus something to get Pascoe, or just straight up for Pascoe. I personally would do that rest of season. I think Pascoe's a red hot chance of a top 3 myself. So
because you're not really getting any of the other hookers. Like Starling's not good enough. Coruscant's not playing,
and probably not.
Wade Egan's not good enough.
No, too injury prone.
Coruscant's an interesting one. Okay.
JMK, you would need that owner to give you something plus to get it done, I think. So that's a hard one to sell. But good luck, mate. But yeah, definitely would consider Tuapiki just a great start this week. If in fact, mate, you aren't going for a win in this buy round though, if someone's really keen on Tuapiki as a start, I'd absolutely trade as well. He's going to have some value this week. And again, Simo, for me, he's more of your 70 Jai Gray style guy. He's not your blow you away with 100 plus. So he's fine, but he's not a high-end asset to me. Pi has come back with Nickera available on our waivers. Thoughts on claiming him, or would you go for the likes of Laban instead? We only start best 8 in buy rounds, so a starter for this week is less crucial. Less crucial. Nickera, with Hines returning, has a better chance of rest of season value, Simo. Laban, too uncertain with Lecker potentially to come back and how the minutes look. So would I spend a waiver on Nickera, though? Probably not. Not with Hines maybe a few weeks away.
Yeah, this one doesn't fill me with great confidence on either side because I do think Laban, like the chances of Laban keeping an 80-minute role all year, I don't think is super high with the Lecker and Capewell thing to come back in. I mean, like Lecker's as low as he can be right now because obviously he's injured. But like, do you really think that the player that is Lecker Halasima is going to stay this far down for the whole season? I doubt it, which would be bad for Laban. Nicker has been pretty bog average for almost a year now. Yes. So you're sort of taking a bit of a leap of faith there too, but I think it's probably the safer one. But yeah, I think you kind of get the sentiment we're both going with here. It's probably not a waiver, just free agent if you can get them as that.
I think that'd be better. Feel free, Pi, to write any other options that are closer to the top of your waivers for consideration. If you're playing in a deeper league, if you're in a 12 or 14 teamer, I could get around it, especially in a 14 team. He's absolutely waiverable. But if it's a 10 team league standard roster composition, probably not. You're most welcome. Nat just says concise as always, boys. Cheers. You're most welcome. Good question. Really good question here, Simo. Will says, who you playing this week out of Savala or CHT? Roosters very short roster, but Waz up against a good Sharks team. Interested to hear your thoughts. That's good options, to be fair.
Yep. They should both kick goals this week, both of Savala and CHT.
Yeah.
Savala playing as a 7, I just reckon he'll be all over the ball a lot. So for me, I'd probably lean Savala, but I think you probably got two guys there that are both very, very similar values this week, to be fair. But yeah, call me a Roosters homer, but I'd lead Savala just.
I'm going Savala, mate, just to give you a minor correction there, Simo. He's been named in the 6th Savala with DCE moving across
in the 6.
7.
1.5. Yeah.
So it's funny you say that. Him likely playing more second receiver / on the left-hand side. I'm about Savala this week. I'd love to have him as a star. He's a floor argument guy. I still think he does occasionally hit your 70s with tries, but I don't know. I'll give it to Savala. Probably they'll both be started in a bye round. They should be. Campbell playing half and currently have Savala selected. Good luck to you, Will. It's the week. It's JC's week, mate, hopefully. He's showing a bit of promise finally for owners that have been patient. Right. Simo, that's it. Arta Mariotta's last week irrelevance in SuperCoach for 2026. The waiver darling of the season. Fire him up in your FRF. He's probably one of the really good, just solid, safe, 50-plus score with a chance of a sneaky bit upside.
Yep.
Get around it, I say.
Yeah. I think last time we recommended him, he might have pumped out like a 45-ish. So, that's fine. If that's his floor, chuck him in your second FRF.
Yep. Poor Sam Rani, mate. I've got him on my bench. You start him this week. I think better times ahead. And Brian Kelly, you can start Brian Kelly. Absolutely. He's just doing enough around the ball.
In a bye round, definitely.
He's doing enough around the ball. It's his week. So not a bad one. That's really it, mate. I'm not starting any of the others in a bye round. Not Moretti. Those who are stuck with your Papali and Vogmans, good luck to you. I had it asked from one of my mates, Simo, about what is Joash? Is he a fullback or a 5'8"? And the argument posted is neither at NRL level was thrown at me. I am struggling a little bit myself to defend him, even though I still think there's an electric player in there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think he's a 6 at NRL level, but I think he could be a fullback.
Could be a fullback, yeah.
Obviously, he had an extended run there this year and didn't really fill us with too much confidence. But I don't know if one of the new franchises were to say that they'd sign Joe Ash and that's who they were going with. Like, I think there's a non-zero chance there that he could be something.
There you go, Simo. Meso Mariota hit 62 in round 12 with 80 minutes on an edge, all base. That is why we bring him up again, Meso. So our recommendation was even better than we thought, mate. How good do you?
So I'm just making it up. Meso's always here. I like it.
Absolute garbage, mate. Our encyclopedia of a stud listener is all over it. Thanks, Meso. I thought it was a better start than that. Come on, Simo. Get yourself together, mate.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Last match of the round is the West Tigers. Now, we do need to spend just a brief moment on the Tigers. Whew. I have been on the Benji hype train. I have. Some very worrying signs with the complete abandonment of effort, and I understand the Panthers were electric and they just clearly were on one, but I don't know, mate. Like, is he really got the dressing room on side with that? Because, boy, was there lack of effort, especially in the middle. Woof.
Yeah. I'll put my hand up and say I didn't watch a lot of this game. And, I usually watch every game of every week, but this one I didn't watch much of, and I'm glad I didn't. It was, I actually thought the Tigers would, like, of all the teams to get pumped 68 blot, like, a Tigers team that had Luai, had Terrell May, had Buller back, had KPP. Like, I know they're missing Twal, but Dewey.
They're good players, Simo.
Yeah. They've got reason to not. Yeah. Taylor May was obviously still hurt too, so he's back now. But, to get dudded like that, it's pretty poor from Wests. And, I know they've been pretty ordinary for a long time, but that was a big step backwards on the weekend. You just hope that, DeBenji can dig him out of it. Because I'm a bit like you. I think there's promising signs for West Tigers, but it's weird saying it after the week just gone.
Well, the Mav guy, Charlie Murray combination, mate, did not bear fruit defensively, unfortunately. So worth just mentioning that. But he's an interesting one, Simone. I want to be really careful with this advice because, Nat, a couple of really good questions. And the reason I say that is Michele, he's going to score a try soon. It's coming. He doesn't play either of the big buy rounds. So, Nat, if you need to drop someone, he has been pretty decent. I know this. But Mariota, it just depends if you need to win this round. The Cesar Wanga line, Simo, Michele, although been good, front rowers generally you and I dispense with pretty easily, don't we, mate? Unless they're studs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It's one of those situations, Nat, where Michele will be way better rest of season. Mariota is, we're under no disillusions here, like he is a 1 week play.
That's it.
So you are going to be short in the FRF next week because if you drop Michele and don't get him back, you're going to be looking for a front rower. So you've got to know that. If you think you can get him back, if you want him back, then, go ahead and do it. But, yeah, mate, you're asking two blokes here that would definitely drop the front rower and play a guy for this week.
Simo and I, we introduced, for those listeners who have been with us, the Cesar Wanga line. We are quite brutal with our drops, listeners. We don't stand on ceremony. And Simo and I have been known to drop people who've scored tons the week before. Very easy to separate matchups, separate your chances of victory. You may as well go all in if you're going to go. There is no point in dropping 11 players when one more player could have got you over the line. So now, in leagues that run the 7 or 8, which we've seen pretty consistently, you probably can hang on to some of these Michele types. So just, again, cater it to your individual league. Will's raised a good question. Luke Lalili, I agree with you, Will. I thought he was playing very well real life and SuperCoach it was reflecting. Cal's added, Skelton and Tavana were turnstiles. That was rough to watch. Skelly has showed why NRL's been just a bridge too far. Great in attack. Does not defend well enough to consistently be picked. So, yeah, absolutely right from Cal. And I hope, look, Luke Lalili next year for the Bears, he's going to be featured. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. I think he's very talented. Will is agreeing with Cal.
Yeah, I reckon that's why he's not there. Luke Lalili,
yeah, I do too.
They're trying to find ways to play other guys because he's, moving on.
Speaking of other guys, mate, it has finally happened. Macassini is playing on the wing. I am all up and about. That's probably one of the reasons I'll be tuning in to see if the Tigers can bounce back. But honestly, mate, Macassini on a wing, he's a winger. He's not a center at this stage of his career. He doesn't have the positional awareness and lateral ability to defend. But if you put him on a wing and let him run hard and straight, I think he's going to do some good things. I would absolutely fire him up for upside this week, mate. Definitely.
Yep. the fact that he's been playing so much centre this year, I think, has been a bit of a joke. Like, yeah, a few weeks ago when we talked about him, I did say, look, if he was on the wing, I'd be much more about it, and I definitely am way more about it. I think he's a pretty decent waiver claim because I think if he can keep the wing spot, like he's just got everything you want: size, strength, youth. Like, yeah, get about him, see how he goes.
Get on him. Meso said Benji has strung up Macassini, set him up to fail. We are in agreement, mate, but there's a chance to right the wrongs. And I think, thankfully, Jarrell Skelton showed that he's not the option. So, look, Stafford Torre, I've heard cop a fair bit of late for not having his best season. Sure, he hasn't. I still think long-term, he's their guy, right, in the centres. He should be fine. Yeah, so a couple of really good questions. We get asked about our structure. So, listeners, as you know, we run our own, or may know, sorry, we run an off-system table, like off, away from the actual SuperCoach itself. And we run a top 5 where if you finish 5th, you've got to run the table, essentially. You get incentives and buys for finishing in the top 2, Simo. Finishing first overall does give you a hell of a lot of chances to win. So, we love it. We think it's a much fairer system in a 10-team league. So, if SuperCoach want to reach out to us for some of those options in the future, we've always opened ourselves to that, because I think people would love it, Simo.
I think the top 5 system, I'm pretty sure it's the same as what's on the site now. You can choose the top 5. I think we do it the same as what's on the site. Where we're mostly different is just the whole bonus point, I think, now. But
we do.
The problem we have is that the bonus point system that we do means that the people that finish in the top 5 on SuperCoach website does not always marry up with what our league table is. So that's what makes it really hard. So we'll choose the top 5 system on the SuperCoach site, but in a perfect world, everyone would finish in the positions they're meant to, but they rarely do. Which makes you then do it offsite.
Yeah, because we play the top 5 scorers, similar to the wonderful Sleeper app. For those who play NFL fantasy and other sports, we play top 5 scorers of the week, get a bonus point, and then you get obviously 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw. So, we do, Cal. We do it offline. We do an offline table the entire season. Our online one doesn't even count. So, tiny bit extra work, to be honest. But once you've got the Excel formulas set up, it's not that difficult. So, again, listeners, reach out to us if you want to let us know on the Facebook page. Simo, Will Cluck, great question. Macassini or Nafahu, who's the higher waiver claim? Nafahu gives you the more upside this week, I still believe, personally. But Macassini, mate, with round 18 coverage as well, he's not just a standard waiver if he's been dropped this week. I think he's a bloody good get.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Nafahu's better for 1 week play. If you're looking longer term, I'd go Macassini. So, yeah. For mine, I would just go Macassini and hope he scores close to Nafahu for this 1 week. But if you're asking me, who's a better play for this week, then, I would just lean Nafahu.
Speaking of better plays, mate, our man, we are truthers. Tony Suka has made it to an edge. Nav Guy made that possible with not his best work. Can you get around it with that bench, mate? Yeah.
I don't mind him. Whenever he gets minutes, he goes okay. He's not a massive, he's not a superstar, let's be real, but he's for SuperCoach, he can punch you out a decent score. So he'll be someone that's going to be a free agent pickup out there. Yeah, just last game of the round, chuck him out there if you need someone. So don't think he needs much more analysis than that.
Yep, and one of the tactics we often share in buy round season, Simo, you can pick up a guy like a Tony Suka to fill a number and really use that to adjust your bye week on the fly. So if you're absolutely crushing it early and your opponent just pulls up stumps, which can happen, you have a chance to pivot to pick someone up who's on the bye to prepare for future weeks. It's something you and I do a lot, and it's a very, very effective technique because that one pickup that gets you in front for next week's waivers can make all the difference in the other buy rounds. So get around it. Cal said, really likes the idea of the bonus point is the worst when you lose one of the high scores of the week and someone wins with the lowest. Cal, absolutely spot on, mate. We introduced it a few seasons ago now because we try to take the luck out of it. We yes, it is essentially a version of gambling, I suppose, but it's similar players finish nearer the top more often, Simo, is fair to say, and that's because we try to set it up that it's a skill-based thing as much as possible. And I certainly think it means more when you probably get the W. We've had one person win this league through sheer luck in 16 years. One of the luckiest things I've ever seen in my life. Fair to say?
Oh, yeah. That was a wild... Yes. Yes.
Just one. One of 16 seasons. So
he was 1-9.
Yep.
Come back and like,
yeah. Angus Crichton inspired, just incredible. Ran them down. So, mate, yeah, just quickly going over then to the Titans. I'm happy for Keanu Kinney because I've got to be honest with you. People out there bringing him up like the second coming of Christ based on one admittedly incredible play where I've defended Walsh a lot. Could he have done a bit better in the collision and actually made that not as easy a catch? Yes, I actually think he could have. But Kinney, mate, he played pretty terrible the rest of the game. I'm not a fan. Like, I was actually saying to my fellow Titans fan, shout out to Mally, Titans die hard. Is Kinney him? Maybe this spurs him on to great things, mate, because for the rest of that game, it wasn't pretty.
I mean, the Titans as a whole were bloody ordinary, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
JC woke up in the second half and
he did.
Kind of carried them a lot. Like, Pascoe was he was unbelievable. But
he's a really good footballer.
Yeah, a lot of the Titans were not really on their game. So, look, I see why you're asking the question. Because, if like Kinney didn't do that, we'd be singing a very different tune.
Yep.
Like, there'd be a lot more people saying what you're saying, I should say. So,
I think so.
I think it's one of those ones with Kinney. Like, I was never really on him as like a first rounder this year, and I think it was just a gut feeling sort of thing. So, yeah, like he's a fine SuperCoach player, Kinney. I'm not going to poo-poo him that much, but obviously he's just not a first round caliber guy. But I mean, if you own Kinney and you took him high, you've probably been struggling most of the year, I'd say.
I'd say so too, mate, and just to hope it spurs him on. I wish him all the best. Obviously, that neck injury was pretty scary from previous. So maybe, again, just working his way back, and confidence in that collision means maybe he's building a bit of, it's coming good. So Cal's just said Kinney isn't getting any good service or shape. Yeah, it is going to be a bit of a slow burn with Zane Harrison, but I guess we've just got to wait that one out because the alternative, let's not even go there, right? We saw that at the start of the year, and won't see him in an NRL jersey again. Sneaky mention, mate, for the offloading genius that is Cleese Haas. Could be another one of those sneaky sort of plug him at the back end of a week, and if you need to, otherwise you drop him out. I think he's an okay shout, mate. Arama Ho.
Sorry, I was going to say, on Cleese Haas sometimes has those random games where he bases amazing.
He does.
Could be one of them. You just never know.
Arama Ho, mate. I think it'll be his spot rest of season. There's just no reason for him not to be. Chris Randall going down again for a concussion. I just want to, I don't want to shit on the NRL and the administration, but for anyone watching that game, I think that was a little bit scary, the delay in Randall getting off the field. That's probably one of the worst ones for a while.
Yeah.
Very clearly concussed, blood coming from the head. He looked terrible. And there was a huge delay, and he even was part of a couple of tackles. They've still got to do better, mate.
Mate, we see it like every couple of weeks, and this is a prime example. How many times we see it where someone cops a pretty obvious HIA situation.
Yep.
They play one tackle, and then they blow the whistle, and off they go. In this case, it was 2 or 3 tackles. But,
too long.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it just shits the fans off. It shits us off watching the game when they play one tackle, blow the whistle again, time off you go. It's like, just get it right. Get him off the first time. It's just not. Obviously, there must be a process where they're still looking at it for there to be one more play and then they phone it in. But it's just so frustrating. And just to your point here, I mean, if Chris Randall makes that next tackle and God forbid has another episode of a similar instance where let's say he goes low and cops a knee. Because obviously it happens. Like, it's just a matter of time until something really scary happens. Obviously we've got Eli Katoa out at the moment, which we know him may or may not play again.
Horrible.
It's they've just got to be better than that. And it's shit for us as viewers too. Like like I feel bad sitting here being selfish, saying it ruins the watchability of the game when they play for one more tackle and then the defense resets their line. But poor old Chrissy Randall, like his wife and kids at home, like blood was coming from his ear, mate. Like you said, it's crazy.
And integrity of the game, Simo, we know I've said this many times on the potty, but just quickly, big NFL lawsuit set the standard for what is potentially at stake here. The NRL cannot afford a lawsuit like the NFL absorbed of $750 million. It doesn't work that way. So they've got to get those moments right to show that we are doing everything we can to protect the health of players around head injuries. So yeah, I hope Chris Randall's okay. Not fun to see, and it's a tough bloody game, man. So yeah, good. Thanks for the chat, mate. I just wanted to bring that up. Arama Hope, where are we at, mate? Trajectory. I still think talent-wise, it's there. Are we going to get back to some SuperCoach scoring, or is this the last week of relevance?
It's hard to know with him, isn't it? Like he started off so good. It's been a bit of a lull. Looking at his stats before, he played 74 minutes on the weekend, scored a 47. So,
it was a bit unders.
Yeah, not a great score. Like, I think he's like the fact that he's got that front row just means you can get away with it for that little bit longer. Like just, if you're getting a 47 in your number 2 FRF spot, is it great? No, but is it killing you? Also, no.
Yep.
If you start him in the 2 RF, that's a different story. But the fact he's got sort of upside in that front row spot, I think you give him a few more weeks and just let it run its course. You'll know the answer in a couple of weeks' time, and it'll be blatantly obvious if he's just going to keep being this or if he's going to sort of bounce back and find a bit of attack or bring back an offload or something.
I agree, mate. I was just looking at getting our questions potentially ready with the Tiod Man not here. So, mate, I am struggling. I've had a mare trying to get into the Book of Face. If you want to bring up any questions on X from you today.
Did have one from Adam over there. I'll just jump in and find it.
Good day, Adam.
Yeah, Adam's a regular over there. He's in his league. Pat Carrigan has been dropped.
Ooh.
So, are you advocating for him to be stashed? Let's say I don't know the circumstances of Adam's league, but let's, for interest's sake, let's say that he has to carry him through the bye round. What are you doing?
Yeah, he's one of those ones. We know the scoring system has treated him well. He is out for a long while, but all publications indicate he'll be back for your NRL finals. So if you are someone who is looking pretty good, an NRL finals run, he's someone I potentially would trade for, Simo. So in terms of wavering for him, that is an auto yes for me. You go try win your league.
Yep. I just jumped on Facebook, mate. I don't believe there are any questions over there. Or did you see something earlier?
I saw the Tiod Man put up a post, but I'm having all sorts of trouble with the, the filtering where it says most relevant. It's like you're all relevant, listeners. I just want to see all the new comments. So all good?
Oh, mate. Doesn't that shit you off? It does it in our, because we run ours on there too on the Facebook page, and so many times you go to look for your opponent's team list that we post in there, and it's never the bloody top one.
Absolutely terrible. Absolutely not.
When I say top, it's never in the top 7 or 8 posts. You got to put in.
All good, mate. So Simo, I just thought I'd do a quick reflection on the listener league, and just to finally say, mate, yours truly, I'm cooked. Just can't get dubs. The scoring's been okay. I'm sort of hovering in the mid to high, but it's not happening for me. Just every week, just get 850 plus again. So I'm cooked. So I lost. Good luck to Don't Go chasing Curtis Falls. It's tough, but I hate not being in the mix to defend the crown, but it's just not happening in the listener league this year. So a little too ho-hum of a team, and I'll probably do a bit of a recap about, if people are interested, about where I went wrong in the draft, because I think that might help people going into next year. I already know what I did. So
can you give us a 10-second run through of your current side?
Really quickly, Simo. So going too early on a front rower again in Kolomatangi. Now, yes, I know he hasn't been good, but that's not actually the reason I lost. He's not a high enough of an upside play for me, and that was an error. Shouldn't have done that. It actually handicapped me too much. You need in this 12 teamer, you need higher upside early. So JC has been unders, and that's hurt me. However, if I'd have snuck around with something just higher upside, I think I'd be in a much better spot. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the way it goes sometimes, mate. I very rarely go early on like front rowers and stuff, but yeah, this time around I bought the hype. I thought Keon was going to be I thought he was going to be Terrell May with upside, to be honest. So I got that one wrong.
And that's the thing.
Has helped, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if obviously at the time you thought you were drafting Terrell May of last year, and it worked out pretty well for the Terrell May owners the year gone by. So you got to shoot your shot when you're big on guys. It's, you know, every single year you're going to have those guys that you plant your flag on. You get them wrong, it's not your year. You get them right, you're laughing. It's just the way fantasy is. And I respect people more who make those calls and just back their guys. And if it goes to shit, do what you're doing and just say, look, made a mistake. I'll be better next time. Will you be better next time? Probably not. Make the same mistake again next year. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, I think, mate, as well, the non-disclosure of injuries in the preseason is something that frustrates the bejesus out of you and I. We've talked about it. NFL have actual restrictions on how accurate they've got to be with injury reporting, and they can get in serious trouble if they don't. Colin Matangi coming in the season with a PCL injury, could you not disclose that? Because it would change how you feel about him. Would I have drafted him where I did knowing it? Of course not. No way. Wouldn't need to. So,
yeah.
Bit frustrating, mate. Simo, not so well done to Don't Go Chasing Curtis Falls. Always happy to lose to someone with a ripper name like that. Raz is taking you down, man. I did see Raz floating about earlier. Not your best week, Tiger, but your Tamale was brutal, to be honest, and Skeleton and Guy. You're playing a bit of a patchwork side this week. So, got just Raz, not an amazing score, 759, but it is what it is. In the matchup, two absolute ripping matchups of the round need to be discussed here. Munsters Inc. narrowly taken down by the Todd Mound himself, who highest score of 101, Simo, managed to beat the team that had Nwanga Nitawaze, 128, Nathan Cleary, 148, and Alamotti, 109. He has taken down Munsters Inc., who he still is in first, I believe. Huge scalp by the Todd Mound, and showing that a consistent roster can overcome upside sometimes.
It does. Yeah, you read that like that, you wonder how he did it, but
crazy.
What's the Todd man? Is he I think he was fourth last time I checked. He's just knocked off first. So has he moved up to third, or is he in fourth?
Third place, mate. Third place. Sorry about that, listeners. And Simo.
He's gone.
He's gone. Yeah, Toddy into third, mate. You're in second, and Munsters retains first, I believe. Now, special mention to the man who has stuck with it despite adversity, will probably overtake me at some point. The mighty Silkwood Slugs have won again with 1,039 points, no longer on the bottom of the league, snuck their way up to 10th place. Just on the back of some really shrewd management, I must say. So hats off to you, mate. You picked up Garrick. He's run with Hosking. Bostic is in there. Xavier Willison is in there. Mulatalo is in there, and Leo Thompson. That's just great management. So fair play to you, Silkwood. I back you to finish ahead of me. And early season, it was a struggle, and Tobzer was on your back, mate. But I love the persistence. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, finals in this, are we top 6 or are we top 8? I can't remember what we chose.
Top 6, mate, I believe I saw for this one. I think I saw that. Meso is giving a bit of love to the Todd Mound. Well done, Todd Mound. Showing a consistent all-round roster, has power. Somewhat of an argument against captain leagues. Oh, God, don't get me started. Captains in draft leagues, get out of here. I wish they'd get rid of captains in Classic. I would love Classic if it was just vanilla. I would think it would be brilliant personally, but anyway. We don't like luck, do we, Simo?
I was going to say, mate, you're on your own with this Classic captain crap, mate. I'll tell you.
Baxter's boys getting a W against Wet Hair. Nico's drops to bottom. Baxter's boys going okay. And in a very low-scoring game, our man Jared, long-time listener of the potty, SJ's Revenge, 738 takes down the Jerry Pies, our man Cletus, in a tight, low-scoring affair. So thought I'd spend just a tiny bit more on that with the questions this week. So the ladder, Simo, just quickly. Munster Zinc, Simo, Toddy, all square on 9 wins, 5 losses. Pretty exciting at the top. Bearded Broncos, Raz, Curtis Falls, and SJ's Revenge, all on 16. So it is bloody tight, mate. And then there's a whole heap of dross down here. Baxter's boys in trouble. I'm gone. Silkwood Slugs on the march, probably the only chance of catching.
Can you give us the points for those teams? So you said 16, locked on 16. What are those?
Gap, what are those? Baxter's boys is 12. I'm tied with Silkwood and Jerry Pie on 10 points, and Wet Hair Nico coming last with 4 and 10. Probably pretty unlucky, to be fair, with more points than some of the people above him. So, wow. Okay.
Bit to play for in the listener league. Bit happening.
Bit going on, mate. So good stuff, Simo. It was like old times.
Yes.
Fitting in a bye week, I reckon. So shout out to the 2 Old Mountain Hopies well. Loyal listeners who've joined us, you're the hardcore fans. We absolutely love your support and the chat. Looking forward to some just setting us up for the run home, Simo, with some bigger rounds coming up, mate. So thank you.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's mate, middle of the origin period. It's it's definitely moving times in the leagues, I think, at the moment. So if you are putting the queue in the rack like you are this week, Redford, then look forward to the next one in round 17. But
18. 18's the big
sorry,
one,
18. 18, I meant to say. 17's when the Sharks run by.
Can I share with your listeners something that Simo will get a bit of a wry smile out of? The gentleman who I am playing this week, one of our listeners as well, we had a little chat just about footy in general, and I mentioned about, good luck to you, mate. Enjoy the dub this week. And he says, mate, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. I've seen you in bye rounds. I imagine you're scheming. You're going to go some trades. So as we talk, mate, as usual, and listeners, I share this with you. I've seen an angle potential on how I can give him a run this week. So I'll
Here we go.
we'll see. I can't help myself, mate. You know.
Of course you have. Just stumbled across it, did you?
Just saw a couple of little angles, mate, that I don't mind the look of. So again, I'll potentially share next week if I manage to go. So, but either way, listeners, it's really important. See that chat Sim and I are having. If I go, it's all in. There's no half-baked measures here. I'll get to 13 if I'm going to do it. So,
be interesting. See how he runs, the lad. Hates losing.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, mate. All right. Listeners, thank you very much. And as always, get that booty India. Oh.